Hi, welcome everybody. I will call the meeting to order as with the Pledge of Allegiance. If you all please rise and join me. Students.
There's glass.
Oh, they are.
There's
Oh,
one.
all right. So right hand over your heart and begin.
Of the United States of America, for which it stands one nation, under God, one nation, under God, indivisible.
Excellent. Thank you all. We got a packed house tonight. This is awesome, and I don't think it's for the board. But we'll take it, whatever gets folks here. So we're gonna do attendance real quick, and then I'm gonna move the agenda around a little bit. And we're gonna have a great presentation for everybody. Excellent. So we have 2 people virtual, I think, or 3, Christian? 2. Excellent. VP Zach Davis is virtual and Jeremy is virtual. So we'll start from top. I'm James Garland. I'm the president and I'm president. Michael Talby here. Jeremy Turner is virtual. Can we hear you? Proceed. Do you see him on there?
Yeah, they're both
Excellent. Principal Badillo
Here.
and Ms. Whitney.
Here.
Excellent. Jan.
Here.
Excellent. Walker McBride.
Here.
Zach Davis is virtual. You see him there? Excellent. Thanks, sir. Topher McDougall. Here. And Christopher Kanzler is overseas. I do not expect him. And Kristen. Excellent. Wonderful. We are gonna hold on public comment and hold on board member comments and move item, what item is it? Up to the top, the presentation. Sir. Look at the top. And you're on the team. Should we stand in the crowd so the camera can see the presentation?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, we're gonna have the board flip and watch you guys do the presentation. Make show everybody. That way you don't have to have your back then.
Perfect. That way we can see it.
Try not to stand in the way of the camera. That was impromptu. That means go.
Go ahead.
Hello, we are the inventors who created Junior.
Hello, my name is Adi.
Hello, my name is Kayla. Hello, my name is Quinn. Hello, my name is Raina.
And we are
the Junior Fan Club.
Our problem that we are trying to solve is animals getting lost. People lose pets and animals every day and not able to find them for a very long time, maybe even never. So we're trying to find a quicker and easier way to find lost animals.
And we did. We created a machine that can help lost pets be safe and feel comforted. And most importantly, they'll be taken care of, which includes being fed and hydrated. And it includes many things. For example, beds, 2 toys, and as you already mentioned, food and water. And another one of the important things is that if our pet comes to or hurt them, Junior has a camera and an alarm clock, and the dogs will most likely win. And if they don't, Junior still has an alarm for the people to be scared and know not to come back.
How Junior works is he naturally rolls around town and you can go up to him and press a little button on him. You'll have to enter $10, which will go into a little box out of reach of the animals, and the money inside will be collected and credited to the city, animal shelters, and many more people. But that's besides the point. Once you press that little button, that will turn on his camera and scanner. You can show up documentation information, pictures, all that kind of stuff, and Junior will go out and find your animal. If and when he does find them, he has a little stomach hatch which the animals can lay in. It has beds, chew toys, blankets, and as Kayla already said, food and water, and a glass window for the animals to look out and not fall out. If Junior ever gets low on battery, which he really shouldn't because he has solar panels and backup generators, but if he does, he has what we can call a little recharge room. where you can go to recharge in a play area for the animals.
We would use metal, solar panels, backup generators, cameras, GPS, wheels, and lots of wiring to build Junior. He would also be about 2.5 feet tall and 3.5 feet wide. Have you ever lost your pet and have never been able to find them? Well, here's a before and after scenario of what would happen without our invention. Here's the before. So you lost your pet and didn't know what to do. Meaning when it was running the streets, not knowing what to do, and you didn't know what to do either.
Now here's the after. Say you still weren't able to find your pet, Junior would. He would keep it safe and comfortable.
If you lost the dog in need, come to me.
Thank you for watching our presentation. Best of luck to other inventors.
For a sec. Does anybody have a question? The board members have a question how their invention works?
How'd you get the name for your invention?
We just came up with it randomly, yeah.
It's kind of like a popular dog name, so.
Pretty catchy, I like it.
And what kind of batteries will it run on?
Double A.
All right, thank you guys. Good job. Right here, guys.
Welcome to the Team Clean presentation. We will help the ocean by cleaning up trash. The ocean animals and humans will appreciate this robot because the humans will not see trash in the oceans and the animals will be safe. Our ocean cleaner's name is Clean.
Hi, I'm Antonio. I'm gonna be talking about the problem. Problem is that people are throwing trash because they don't care. They don't know that there are animals that are dying because of trash. Off to Shepard.
Hi, my name's Shepard. Our solution is a robot that picks up trash underwater and above the water, putting it in its compartment off to dump.
This is a clean moment. It'll go down deep into the ocean and use its camera to find trash. That it shouldn't be that hard because people keep littering in the ocean. Once it tracks some trash, it'll grab it and bring it back up to the surface. Above the surface, there'll be warehouses around the world that have holes in the floor that it can drop the trash and repeat the process and collect the trash. In the meanwhile, the employees will sort out trash recycling. The trash will be burned to fuel, the recycling will be used off the month.
Hi, I'm Miles. The materials that we'll be using in our robot is metal, motherboard, lights, camera, and glass, propeller, and paint. You mix that all together and you get the clean beam. We also called it the King of the Sea.
So that was our Team Clean presentation. I hope you like it. And don't forget, if you
Need it clean? We're your team.
What ocean would be the first ocean?
Pacific Ocean.
Yeah.
How much trash can it hold before it has to come up?
About
Wait,
20
wait,
average
no.
size pieces. And there's gonna be like multiple of them, so it's gonna be pretty.
There's gonna be
efficient.
multiple around the world.
Yeah.
Very cool.
That's good.
How big is it?
It's like
The size of a Mini Capris,
Yeah.
I guess.
because so like animals can't swallow it because that would be good. That would be the opposite of our idea. Yeah, that would be the opposite of good.
What about
Yes.
Addie, how much money would it take to make?
Maybe like a couple $100,000 or more. Quit again.
Can you put it in pools?
Yes, you can.
Yes,
There's
you
a mini
can.
version and you
Yeah,
can put it in
you can
pools.
put it in pools. And this is right now. Good job, you guys. Good job.
All right, thank you.
minutes. Okay, welcome back. That was awesome. We need more of that. I would love to see something like that at every board meeting. Very cool. So we will start out with public comment, correspondence. Do we have any speakers or speaker slips? Look at this, John Centrofranchi, the former principal of Old Town Academy.
Hello, everyone. I'm John Centrofranchi. I'm former principal and executive director of Old Town Academy. From time to time, I do take a look at what's going on and see the agendas for the board meetings and notice that something a little bit later on in tonight's session about James and stepping down and things like that, which we'll get to. But I want to publicly recognize, thank, and celebrate James' service as a board member or president. And actually since day one, when Wes and Hudson were first students here, first enrolled here, he and Sandra have been involved in the school from the very beginning. So one of the most genuine, trustworthy, dedicated, and humble men that I've known. I love you. A great father to the boys, fantastic husband, and a good friend. Real pleasure to work with him. So I just want to publicly thank you, James, and recognize you for all your great service at the school.
Sure. That was awesome. All right. Anybody else? Excellent. We will move on to board member comments and correspondence.
You know, I've got something I'd like to cover. I've received some phone calls from some parents, spoken with some teachers, just concerning some of the financial situation of the school. And I wanted to just publicly make sure that everybody is aware that while we've discussed the check engine light being on a few times during this year, this board meetings, our financial health is not, long-term financial health is not in question. Our ability to maintain the school and run it for multiple years in the current way that it is very strong. We've got close to $1 million in cash, and even if enrollment stayed down, even if we stayed under this lease, our ability to fund what our school needs to buy supplies and to run the day-to-day operations is still there. Now, it does not take away the conversation we've been having, which is enrollment has been down, just like it has across the county, across the state, and across the United States in general, that this lease is very expensive. But it does not mean that this school is not going to be around a year from now. So I just wanted to assure everybody, address the rumors, address the conversations that are being had, and assure everybody that outside of maybe Josh, I don't know if there's anybody who spent more time in these numbers over the last 5 years. And I want to assure everybody, every teacher, student, parent, and this board that the financial condition of the school is not poor at this time.
Right. Any other board members? All right, well, yes, it is on the agenda, so it is official. So I'll talk briefly about it, and then we can discuss it in discussion, and we do have some action items. But first, I want to thank Mr. C. Just a great leader over here, and those were some really fun times. And just yeah, it was easy to volunteer. It was easy to help because I believe in this place. I believe in the mission here. I believe in all the hard work that the staff does here. My utmost confidence is in the staff here. It's certainly in this board. We have an extremely bright future with the YY funds, and but we do have some challenges ahead. And it is a bittersweet. I've been here a long time, and my wife likes to tease me. Sometimes I stay a little late to the party. But it's a good time. I've really enjoyed my time here. I've enjoyed what we've built and what we've done. And it is extremely rewarding, and it's great work here. It's serious work here. It's so fun to be on a team with the students like Dash every year. and get to see you guys kind of grow in your presentations. And then normally I would have the honor of giving you a pen at the promotion ceremony. But it is time for me to step back a little bit. We have some long-term goals and some long-term challenges ahead of us that we need to make some decisions and start moving within the next several months. And I'm just not the point man for that at this time. My second job is making sure the beaches of San Diego stay safe. And that is a challenge in itself. And we are spinning up into my busy season. So it is definitely a bittersweet, but I do have to put this place in the hands of somebody that can put a little more time. Usually things are on cruise control and I can kind of back off, and I know that I can always, talk to the principal and kind of check in and keep things moving along throughout the summer without a ton of energy. But I do think that it's time for a little more energy from the board, and I'm not the guy to do it right now. So I did want to, I always like when you pass that baton to give somebody a little head start. So by the time they hit mid-stride, they're in a full sprint, and we can do the best we can for the team. I'm not going anywhere. I'm certainly not stepping down from the board. I'm going to finish out my commitment. So, but I do think it's time for a new leader to step up, and that's why I have made that decision. But it has been great. It has been fun. It has been rewarding. It is not something that I thought I would have gotten so much joy out of, but I really did. And it was funny because I was kind of the crisis guy, and I'm built for that, right? I mean, that's what I do at work every day. So to get us through COVID and have great partners like Laura and Miss Whitney, it's just it's been fun. It's been fun to see the pros like Mr. C and watch you guys work and let you guys work. And it's just been a special team for me. A lot more challenging than I thought. I mean, really, COVID threw this whole place a curveball, but I was so proud of what we did. We opened before anybody. We followed the subject matter experts all the way back to the CDC. We were diligent with our paperwork. We put in our applications to open the doors here before anybody else. The entire state was in purple crisis mode, and we got to open the doors and bring these smiling faces back. I think many years to come, we'll see what the effects are on this generation and everybody from what has happened here with COVID. But I think we can be proud and stand behind the decisions that we made with the parents, with the staff, and it wasn't always popular. We couldn't get everybody in agreement, but we made the best decisions we could, and we moved forward. And that's really, you got to just keep moving when you're in crisis mode. And now it's time for COVID recovery. I said it out loud. It's time to recover from COVID. And I know B2 is coming, and but we're moving into endemic, and this group, this staff, this board has to make decisions that are bold and have a vision on how do we get out of this? How do we recover from what has happened in the last 2.5 years? And unfortunately, I'm leaving in June. I'm always here. You just come to the beach, shine a light in the sky, and I'm gonna show up. But I'll always be here. I'll come in here and there, and I'll definitely will pop in. But we have to recover. We have to heal. We got to move forward, and I want to give the next guy a running start. So that's really why I did it. It makes sense to me. Most of my mentors and people I talk to, it makes sense to them as well. But it will be sad to go. But I can't wait to see. I mean, we have 40 million sitting here. We just got an additional $97,500 in a grant for additional instructional aids, which we wrote I worked with the foundation, and we wrote, and in there is to recover, to heal from COVID. So we are trying to just we got to get ahead of it. We're always ahead of it. We got to get ahead of this because nobody wants to say it out loud because the next virus is going to come. But the fact is we gotta live life. We got to move forward. And unfortunately, I can't lead this group anymore. So I appreciate every single one of you. Topher, I'm just inspired by the connection you made at USD. It's just, it is amazing. Yeah, it's great. Miss Whitney, your skills in the classroom and your ability to come in and be frank and have good conversations. It's just, it's awesome. Everybody brings something to the table and I do appreciate it. I appreciate this team and I like it. I love every one of you. I love what you've done here and I can't wait to see where it goes. So with that, that is the end of my public comment or my board comment.
James, on behalf of myself and then probably the board as well, thank you for the time you've put in over the years. And the first person I met was your better half, Sandra, and she introduced me to the school and to fundraising and to the gala. And that's the thing I'll remember the most is coming into a new school as a parent, not kids have their own obstacles and challenges for new schools, but as a parent and figuring out what to do. And Sandra immediately put me to work and help out. And that's what you mentioned about getting back or turning the corner. That's what I would really want to see from not only the board, but having get-togethers at school versus what we've been dealing with the last couple of years. So Sandra was instrumental in it, and just understanding her and meeting her first, and then meeting you secondarily. You're a power couple for this school. It's helped out immensely to get us to this point. So yeah, you mentioned it earlier. It's incumbent upon us and the board to take the momentum that's been built here, and there are good things ahead. We've definitely got knocked down a couple times, but we're going to get back up. Great news and positive news to share on the real estate front, which has definitely been the anchor for us trying to determine and getting close so many times. So I'll have more to share on that end, but this is your time. So thank you for all you've done. And we hear you loud and clear. We won't let you down.
Thank you. Yeah. What else? All right, excellent. We're going to move on down the agenda. Reports and presentation. Josh and Michael. Treasurer.
Guess I could fix seated. Oh, by the way, this is Andrew. He's new with CSMT. He's just shadowing me, so you may see him following me around, but that's who he is. So on the agenda today, we're just going to review the budget that we've been working on with the school. If you'll see this front, this is the summary, and then there's two other pages that come after it. Those are kind of the itemized breakdown of what the summary sheet has. But I'm going to start by talking on the summary sheet, and if there are any questions, we can drill down into the admin questions. So, or the details. So the first column you're going to see is 2021-22 estimated actuals. And then the second column is 2022-23 preliminary budget. So that first column is when I met with the school, the leaders of the school, and we just discussed where we actually think we're going to end this year. So we're kind of at the point where we don't need to compare to budget anymore. It doesn't really matter. Just matters how we actually think we're going to end. So that's what's going on in that first column. So the couple things that I want to highlight for you guys, if you look at the average daily attendance column, we're estimating that the school ends with a 245 ADA. So if you'll recall, the budget that we came into the year was 254. So we fell short 9 to 10 roughly. And so without going through each one line by line, the thing that I want to bring you down to is the surplus deficit. That's the bottom box, the first line on the bottom box. So we're now actually, especially with the ADA drop, expecting the school to fall at a deficit this year of $172,000. So we came into the year with a preliminary budget estimating that the school would end this year at about I have the number right here, at a $55,000 deficit. So unfortunately, now we're looking at 172,000. Reasons behind that: one, the ADA. When you miss 10, that's going to move significantly over $100,000 in this case. A couple other things, there were some overages on things like purchasing of desk and food costs, copy machine leases. Those are a couple things that forced the overall expenses to go over. But the primary reason why we're so off, or I guess so off is relative, but over $100,000 off is because we didn't meet the ADA mark. And I guess that is somewhat to be expected given the trend that's going across all schools in California. So that's the first column. So we're just kind of at this particular point in time, I mean, there's still 3 months left in the year, so things can still change. But as far as a preliminary look through, that's what we're seeing now. Before I move to the next column on the preliminary budget, any questions on the estimated actuals for this year? Hearing none, so I will move to the preliminary budget. So like I said, we worked with the school a couple days ago and just kind of punched out a quick prelim budget. Now, this is for the board to kind of see at this early stages, get your guys' discussion, your guys' opinion. If you have any questions for me or for the principal or for the staff or for Michael or anything like that, you can address it. But for now, this is preliminary. We have until the June board meeting to actually approve this and send it into the district. So we have two whole months, but nonetheless wanted to get the ball moving. So when I met with the school, the number that we wanted to go with for next year was a 263 enrollment and a 250 ADA. So assuming the school can hit those numbers, then this budget preliminarily works. The thing that I also want to show you though is if you scroll down with those numbers, and that's an increase of ADA and enrollment, in this preliminary budget, we're still projecting the school next year at this point to end with a deficit of $168,000. So the questions you might have is like, okay, so how are we going to increase our ADA and thus get more money, but also still be in a deficit? Well, of course, various things, like if we're going to consider step increases for the staff, if we're considering special ed needs, so additional staff for the special ed needs. We're considering the rent, and we're just kind of considering a bunch of various things. And I think the school worked hard in trying to be as conservative as possible. So this is on I think a relatively tight budget because you just never know what type of emergencies happen and things like that. But this is factoring in staff increases, potential position increases, rent increases. Those would be the big ones of why we're at where we're at. And so the next column is just a variance comparing the two this year to last year. And like I said, these, if you want more detail on how those numbers break down, you can look at the other 2 pages, or I can explain them a little bit more. But with that being said, this is, like I said, high level. That's the preliminary budget that we managed to put together in time for this meeting. Still 2 months to change not only the estimated actuals, but next year's budget with the board feedback and everything like that. But here's where we're at for now. Any questions on this high level?
So I think my one question,
Sure.
and I know I was unable to meet this week, but this video on the 263 number, does that includes the TK? So you're not anticipating that enrollment is going to pick back up for next year, a full kindergarten class, a whole thing?
No, because we only have 5 students right now for TK. That's one of the reasons I put the little flyers on your desk, if you guys could take those out to the community and post them somewhere. We may have to incorporate TK into K instead of a separate TK class. We hope that we could get 24 students, but as of now, we're not seeing it. So that could adjust as the summer goes on before school starts. But with only 5 students interested, it's tough to, you can't hire a teacher, so the minimum is 1 teacher per 12 students. So if we got to, 12, if we got to 15, maybe we could hire and at least do a class of 12 students. Then we have to decide, is it half a day? Is it a 50% position for that staff too? Because that staff member is going to cost us. So we were excited thinking that we could do that, but we're just not seeing the numbers. And I'll share the numbers. Natalie gave me the information on the numbers. So we're not seeing it. And because of this past year, the way you budgeted this year from the beginning of the year, and then we saw that our ADA is only 245, we didn't want to go too high. We did go a little bit higher, but there's still a concern that we might not meet that, especially with the numbers of students that have submitted applications for next year.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, though, we went through the numbers of applications and that type of thing, right? So last conversation, and it sounds like you're gonna go through them. We had more than enough for kindergarten and we
For
had,
kinder, yes,
and then the other classes, we did have applications for to
We
fill the
do.
empty spots, right?
we do.
Okay.
So we could potentially be full. But the TK piece went, and we're still in discussion, and at the next parent coffee that we'll do, the town hall, the discussion, and as we move forward, is we have to offer TK. If we don't have enough students to offer a class of TK, then we need to incorporate it into the current classroom. So we're thinking of saving, maybe we need to save those 5 or 6 spots in kindergarten for TK so that we can show that we are offering TK, which some schools do. Small school districts, typically the TK is within the kindergarten classroom. We were hoping to get
What's the minimum number of TK students we could accept?
in the TK classroom or just by itself?
Just if we had to move them in, what's the minimum number of TKs we could have? One.
But I think we're gonna have, I'm gonna talk to the charter office. We have some office hours coming up because I don't know that there's a minimum number and what's fair when you're doing a lottery. I don't know the answer to that right now. And so, you know, we do have, it looks like we have 6, not 5. I think 5 are siblings, so they're likely to be for sure. So how do you offer 1 spot, right? So,
Lottery.
pardon?
Lottery.
You can. I mean, you can, but I mean, that's been your, we haven't made a decision on that. We're kind of waiting to see, and we're hoping that, you know, if everybody goes out and kind of talks to people, we might be able to get some interest in that. Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing is facility and facility space. You know, there's not a lot of space here, not a lot of empty space, and then they have to be near, you have to have kindergarten restrooms for those students. You have to offer 9 hours of not education, but 9 hours of school. If you go back to that ELOP grant, you have to do school time, which could be half day for the TK students, but then what are you providing the rest of the time? We did a survey of the students who have already submitted applications. Only one wants like after TK care. So the YMCA can't do that for 1 student. So it poses other issues for us. So we kind of have to, I think we're going to be weighing it over the summer too, and trying to figure out if we have enough kids to do a full class. That'd be preferable, obviously.
Jeff, I'd like to ask you about the local revenue on the 2021-22 actuals. It was my understanding from Lynn, the foundation director, that we were to have 2 installments of $45,000 each, and this is obviously below that. And so that's one question. A second question is, I assume that none of this takes into account the $97.5 thousand that James just referred to. Is that correct? And I guess the third question is regarding the disparity in other state revenue from this year. You know, there's a drop in by 71,000. Is that due to COVID relief funds running out? And so anyway.
Sure. Yeah, I'll hit on, so your first question was the other local revenue, 60 to 90. Talking with Ms. Badil, we obviously next year we have the 45 that we're talking about, but this year we got the 45. We just left it at 60, I think, just to be conservative. Obviously, if we get something for sure, we can obviously bump that up.
And Lynn
no
said
problem.
it wasn't going to be sure for sure until after the event.
After the gala.
Yeah, so we did 60.
Okay, yep, so that's what's going on there. Your second question was, yeah, the 97,000, not anywhere on here. I think, you know, maybe until we get, I don't know, paperwork, something documented, we can put it on there. That's
got the
won't be a
check.
problem. Oh, you have the check,
But
okay.
we can't submit it. We can't submit it until we write the whole thing out. We have to write them what we're gonna, remember we're gonna do with it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Whether it's this year or next year.
Yes.
Great.
But then the COVID relief,
Yep.
the decline is due to COVID relief, I suppose.
Yeah, so those particularly the 3 that you'll see, in-person learning and extended learning opportunities. Yeah, those were COVID relief, trying to get people get back to, encourage schools to go back to school. So they threw out all this money. Yeah, you could have spent it. There was an extended timeline. You didn't have to spend it all this year, but I think at least at the time, Dr. Reed, the plan was to use that to help this year's budget. So that is gonna get, or the plan is to fully use that this year. So yeah, it dies, but there is other that we haven't put on here yet. There is other similar funds out there that the school is gonna get. Just working with the school to figure out like, okay, if we put it on there, we also have to put on the respective expenses that go with it, and we haven't gotten that far yet.
All right, and that's great. And I'd love for this at some point later, just like flag this to pivot into a discussion about how this all, like all of these questions about enrollment and ADA fit into a new website and a marketing campaign and everything else. Because I mean, flyers are great, but
The flyers, that's something required by the district.
yeah, I'm not trying to disparage them. I'm just saying like,
Yeah.
if we really want to boost numbers, that's probably gonna take more time.
And I will tell you, my conversations with the foundation is that the whole 45 is coming.
So the long and short of it is that these are conservative numbers. We've got more dollars coming in.
We do, and they're very, very conservative, probably more than we're used to.
Are you hearing anything on SB 830?
SB 830.
Yeah, it's the California Senate bill that is moving from ADA to enrollment.
Yes, no, nothing. I haven't heard anything new on that, no.
So I think it was recently amended in March. I don't know where the next steps are. It's got 15 sponsors right now in
Yeah.
the Senate, which is good. So for those of you out there who like to follow the politics, SB 830 is a good one. It funds schools based on enrollment, not on your ADA. And the California school system sends back or loses over 200 million a year just in vacancy ADA. So, and they're finding that it's that funding by ADA isn't driving attendance at schools. All it's doing is it's hurting schools that kids aren't coming to school in. So, so it's something to keep track of and look at, and
Is that on the November ballot?
I don't think it's made it through the state yet. It's still gonna make it through the state Senate, but it is something to track and look at, and it's for fiscal 23. So it won't help next year's budget, but it could provide some relief, and it will help with recruiting, I think. I mean, you will drive to get your enrollment to full, which we hit a lot of times, and our ADA goes down. So thank you. Just a quick question on that. Anything else on fiscal?
I'm just asking a basic question. The beginning fund balance at the bottom, the 1.260, is that just the ending balance in the map there? Is that beginning fund balance?
So the beginning fund balance, the 1.2 is what the school came in the year with. And so if they do deficit spend by 172,000, then the ending balance would be 188.
Yeah, okay.
There is I didn't know if I should point this out. There is a clerical formula error here. If you look at,
They're the same.
Oh,
they're the same, exactly. That should be, that one should be 1,088,575 on the preliminary budget. So figured I'd point that out just in case someone went there.
Right. And then the one below that.
Yeah, the one below that would be like, instead of 1,092,545, it's probably like 920,000-ish.
The 168 might.
Yes, 168 minus 1,088,757. It's like 920-ish.
All right. That it? Thanks, sir.
Thank you, guys.
Teacher liaison report, Ms. Whitney.
Hi, so I sent out another survey to the staff this month just to get a feel on how they were doing. Seems like the staff definitely is feeling a lot better than they were last month. I think they're feeling like we're ready for spring break, we're gonna get a break. But I think also a lot of the concerns they had, I think are being addressed. Principal Badilla has been doing a great job with pretty much everything that I talked about in our closed session about staff's concerns are being addressed or being talked about, which is really wonderful. So I think that's great. They do have some more concerns, which I can talk about in closed session as well. The main thing that I'd love to just notify to the parents too, we are in huge need of substitutes all the time. So if anyone has a bachelor's degree and a willingness to get their sub credential, it's not that hard. And it doesn't take that long. We could really use it because like poor Christian is being told every day to sub for classes and there's nothing we can do about it. I mean, we're like, they're calling everyone we have on our list and it's just, we have no one. And if we might get to a point where Christian's in another class and we don't have a teacher for that class. So we could really, really use subs. And that was actually the #1 thing listed on the survey. But yeah, I'll talk about it more during closed session, but that's just a concern that I think parents could help with is if they are able to get their sub credential and if you have a bachelor's degree, you're eligible to sub.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Any questions from Ms. Whitney? Excellent. We'll move on down the road. Officers report. I noticed Natalie's not here. Do you have a
I
report
do,
for
I
her?
have, yeah, we had 5 people out today. She was one of them. Yeah. So we were all subbing everywhere in the office included. I finally learned how to unlock the front door, so.
There you go.
Okay, so enrollment, as far as we have applications for 216 students for next year, 6 at TK. And I'll just go down, kindergarten 76, first grade 26, second grade 14, third grade 19, fourth grade 21, fifth 12, sixth 24, seventh 14, and 8 we have 7. At this moment, we have 3 students not returning, 1 in third, 1 in fifth, and 1 in 7th. However, there are classes that aren't full as well, so there are more openings than that. As far as food services, Natalie had reached out to SDUSD. I think she mentioned it last time. We've been waiting for a decision on whether or not they would take care of our food services for next year, the breakfast and lunch program. However, today I spoke with the charter office and they gave us some names of vendors that are already up and running for quite a number of schools. So we're going to be investigating those as well. We had our facility check with the health department yesterday and we passed conditionally. And he'll be back in 2 weeks to review the items that we needed to correct. One of those was you need to have hot water nearby. And we have faucets, but the hot water never came. So we've got to figure out what's happening with the hot water heater and why the hot water isn't coming. So that has to be fixed within 2 weeks. And one of those weeks we're actually off. So we're trying to figure out how to do that as quickly as possible. So that could be a cost to us. I'm not sure we're gonna have to do with that. And then of course the permit as well. Natalie's gonna be working on P2 attendance. And then we're working on our site visit for SDUSD, which is on May 12th. And then we're coordinating the interim audit and we will be meeting with our new auditor 5/5 and 5/6. And that's it.
The SDUSD site visit, do we need board representation or is that?
I don't know. I have to ask her that question. I don't think so, but I'll find out.
Did she have to give you the current enrollment numbers for each grade?
No.
Where there's vacancies right now?
The biggest vacancy is in kindergarten.
It is
I only have 23.
23, okay,
7th grade has a few spots. I think 8th grade does as well,
okay,
but I don't have the exact numbers. No.
okay. Are we have a vacancy in each grade or no?
No,
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 So
some
it's
grades are
just
full.
12, 7, and 8?
Well, I can't remember all, if there are others. I think maybe first grade might have 1.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
Fourth grade has 1.
Yeah.
1 and 4, okay,
And partially because some of them just left,
yep.
moved or something. And so it's the end of the year. So,
If somebody wanted to make the jump at the end of the year, would we allow that?
we did just add somebody at 4th grade, and then the minute we added that student, another student just left.
Okay.
So, yeah. So it's a possibility. We just had an 8th grader who walked, a 7th grader who from South America somewhere who finished 7th grade there and was starting 8th grade, but wanted to start here as soon as possible. In 7th grade, finished 7th grade year, learn some English, and then start next year. So they'll be talking with Natalie on Monday because there's no waiting list.
And I know we've seen over 400 on the list for kindergarten, but did you say it was 216 this year?
216 total.
So, oh, everybody.
Kindergarten was 76.
Okay.
I think she told me there was a handful of siblings, maybe 8.
Okay.
I know that like I've asked this before, but like what's the matriculation rate on like when you give out 76 admissions? Like that.
Acceptance rate.
So that's why you always want, obviously, you want a lot of students per grade level, because you don't really know. A lot of people sign up for various lotteries at different schools and then decide. That was also one of the reasons we talked about maybe upping the calendar by a week so that you kind of beat other people to the punch a little bit. I don't know exactly what it is here, but I would think that having 76 students on the list, you should have a full kindergarten. I don't know what it was this year.
It was over 100,
And
and I only have 23 yet.
but COVID, I think, played into that
Yeah.
probably too, right? Parents who maybe weren't comfortable or one reason or another. So maybe this next year will be a little bit better as far as that goes. But yeah, it's always a little bit nerve wracking when you get down to 26 or 14 or 19. Those numbers, yes, if we only have one opening, it's great, but it's still a little worrisome because you just never know how many applications they put in.
So put these in preschools basically, right? Like
You can put them anywhere you
Copy
want.
shops,
Yeah,
anywhere.
and the district wanted to see that we are advertising. We've been putting brochures, we've been sending brochures, we've been handing things out, parents have been passing things out. I think I brought it up at the last meeting. It was gonna cost us about $1,500 to do the postage and try to come up with some kind of a postcard or something like that, which we can still do. But one way is get out there, post it somewhere visible, not hand it to somebody, but rather post it where numerous people would see it.
And not to say that this is, we should sit on our butts, but I read it this morning that California is at the lowest enrollment for public schools in 2 decades. So,
Well, and the birth rate. I mean, it's not just that, it's also if you look at the birth rate over the last
People
10
leaving the
years,
state and-
people going out of state, but the birth rate is really, really low now. So we're gonna be fighting over the same kids soon, and we're starting to see that.
Excellent. Let's hope those numbers come in good. That's great. Excellent. Right. IT report. Mr. Captil.
Hi there, everybody. So I have a few items that I'm going to be talking about. First item is the network update. Just want to let you guys know that next week I'm going to be working on doing a network upgrade. Currently, right now, I'm configuring the Aruba switch and also going to be configuring the APs. Once we install everything during spring break, I'm going to test them out, make sure that everything's running smooth, do a couple of speed tests and see what they have. I do want to advise that just in case, if the network still is the same, regardless if we upgrade it to the latest, it could be manufacturers, it could be because of the building. It is an old building. It could also be because of wiring, some of the cables could be old or eaten by rats, mold, anything like that. So I'm hoping for the best that once we do this upgrade, everything should be normal. Second, state testing update. Just want to let you guys know that a week before we start doing our state testing, I will be updating the Chromebooks that the grade levels that are going to be doing testing. I'm going to make sure that they have functional Chromebooks and make sure that they're updated to the latest version, which right now the latest version is 100. So I'm going to make sure that they're all able to be updated to 100. Second, I spoke to Mr. Watts, who's in charge of state testing coordinating, that I would like to do a stress test of the network a week before the actual test. This would let me know and let everybody know how our network is going to be, if in case we need to do any modifications or any adjustments in order to make sure that they have a suitable testing environment. Lastly, I want to give you guys a little update about the website. We will be doing a training session with Edleo, managing the website. It's a 2-hour training for staff and admin. First, this training will be on May 6th. It's a half day from 12 to 2 p.m. Admin and Eliza will be starting the training from 12 to 1, the first hour. And then from 1 to 2, the staff will be working on, learning how to manage the website, their page and everything. I started already doing the teacher's web page. So when they log in and start the training, it'll be much more easier for them to follow. and won't be struggling or having any issues, because it's a brand new website, so they're not gonna be familiar with that. This training will also be through Zoom, and it's gonna be recorded. So we're gonna have it as a resource to be able to train new staff, upcoming staff members, if anybody have new ones, or if staff itself have any questions or any, or they forgot how to be able to do something, I can always send them the resource of the video. Another thing is, if I could possibly have the opportunity for the board to be able to send me a headshot, a professional headshot, where I could be able to upload it on the website. I have everybody's already emails, their roles on the website. And it would be nice to have a photo to be able to, as a parent, somebody that's new and, would like to see who's the board members. So if possible, you guys can send that to my email, that'd be great. If not, I can just keep the OTA logo. I'm trying to keep it as much as consistent as possible. Lastly, with weeks away from school basically ending, I spoke to Ms. Video about the website, and I recommended that it would be best to launch it when the school starts instead of right now. Reason why is that it is the end of the year. Teachers are overwhelmed. So it wouldn't be fair for the staff and teachers to be able to add an additional, task on their plate, especially right now with testing and the end of the year. So this will give them at least the summer to be able to implement whatever information they want to put in their upcoming calendar. So when, as a parent, they can follow specifically, for example, Ms. Whitney's kindergarten calendar class, and therefore they can know, okay, packet 5 is due on Wednesday. So that is one of the things that basically would be nice to do at the same time, because it is a new year. What a better way to start with the branding with the website. And that's basically it.
Great idea with the stress test. And yeah, looks like you have a great coach. Let's hope all goes well with that network upgrade. It's been a long time in the making, so thank you. Any questions?
I have a question for you, actually. For the website launch, do the teachers have to do a lot to add a lot of information?
No, all it is like I showed you, you have your banner, you have your mail information, your title, your name, you have your little bio, but you can just put your information like, hi, my name is Jennifer Whitney. I have been at OTA for yay so long. I teach kindergarten. These are one of the best teachers that kindergarten has to offer. Just a little quick bio, and then your calendar. If you have a calendar, the Google Calendar, you can save there. You can even attach any files. For example, if you have any curriculum paperwork that you would like parents to be able to download, to be able to do with their kids, instead of you have to physically make a copy and give it to your student, the parent can just go to the web to your page and be able to download it there and have it physically. Because sometimes kids will be kids; they can lose papers or forget about it.
So my follow-up question is, if there's not a lot for us to, like, for example, if we just didn't do any aspect of the calendar for this year, so like our parents weren't necessarily this year's parents weren't accessing it. I mean, the only thing that I'm nervous about is, I think what he was talking about earlier is not having the website update for those who are looking to enroll, because I do think that a better website would be more enticing for those who are considering enrollment. That's just my thought, but.
Yeah, that's really good, but at the end of the day, it's like I said, the teacher's page is not hard. I can launch it right now if we want to, but it's not going to be fully completed. That's why.
Is it just because of the teacher's page that it's not fully complete?
That's one of them, just other, information that we need to put, but we can launch it if we want to tomorrow. But again, you're going to have a page that really isn't completed. You're going to be like, okay. So that's why I was trying to give, teachers during the summer for them to be able to, take their time, decide what information they would like to put or anything like that. But at the end of the day, it's under, Ms. Video and the board to decide whether you guys want me to launch it now. I can try to start launch it as soon as possible.
But are the teachers going to want to do it during the summer?
No, but I don't think they would want to do it now either. But I mean, it sounds like it's not that much. It sounds like we could just do a bio right now. and then add our calendar stuff for next year. Cause I'm
Right.
not gonna put like these assignments due in right now, because my parents haven't even figured out how to use it yet. I wouldn't do that till next year. But-
Again, and that's why I say you can, it'll be launched next school year. We're talking about when schools, before school starts.
Right, but the
How much-
other aspects of the website.
Yeah, how much time do you think would be included in kind of customizing your website? And then my next question would be, is there room in staff development in August for that?
Yeah, we could make room for it. I mean, I think, one of the things Christian mentioned to me was, making a clean start of it. And
Yeah.
just doing it. We were trying to get it as soon as possible.
Yeah.
We do have things on the current website that lead you right to like registration, or if you're interested in the school and things that we've already kind of been, advertising and promoting. So it really doesn't matter to me. I think it was more thinking of the teachers, because there is a little bit of a training that goes with it, and it's very difficult to find time.
Yeah, I don't think you wanna-
No, I
postponed it
completely agree.
once.
No,
We
I
already
agree.
postponed it.
Yeah.
You don't want to flip the script on a parent in the last.
Yeah, no, I
4
completely
weeks of
agree. I was just nervous about,
Yeah,
because I know like the actual structure of the website and the just design of it is not super appealing, so I know that,
Our current website, yes.
Yeah.
That's why the new one is actually, good. It's a little bit more better. It's easier to manage as a teacher. And it's, again, the best thing about this company that I mentioned several times is that you have your personal tech debt. So if in case, as a teacher, you are having trouble with something, you can always submit a quick email and they're a fast response. You have your personal one. And for example, hey, I'm having trouble uploading this file. Can you please help me out? They will do it, they will answer within like 24 hours. So there's nothing as a staff member, there's nothing to be worried about or get scared of, because it's super self-managed. Everything, the tools are all there. It's just you implementing, the information. Like if you're making a pizza, the ingredients are there. It's just you making it.
Can I see if I have this right? I guess I'm wondering, it sounds as though one of the wonderful features of this is going to be the extreme adaptability for the teachers themselves.
Mhm.
And that is not going to happen until August. It also sounds like the website itself can do everything currently. Other than that, it can do everything that our current website does do, but is better designed and is more appealing.
Currently, right now, WordPress, if you haven't had the opportunity to manage it, it's not user friendly. It's really a little bit kind of complicated. Yes, when it comes to putting the information.
So I guess I'm just wondering, is there any downside to launching the website right now, having for each individual teacher page a photo and a bio blurb, say the rest is coming soon, coming in August, and then having, links or rerouting what needs to be rerouted from emails that have gone out saying like, register here, those same links still work. Presumably.
Everything still works fine. Again, this is just a recommendation. At the end of the day, it's, once again, it's this video and the board's decision.
Yeah.
To whether you guys would like to launch it now, or we're willing to wait a little bit more to give more breathing time for everybody.
I guess my question is, when you said that, I guess the question is for the two of you. How is, because first of all, I'm not in love with our current website, that, but with that said, how much more appealing is this new website? If much of it is just gonna say something is coming in August. The fact that is on our website, how much more is that appealing to our newcomers, our people who are applying, than what is currently there?
My understanding is that websites speak to multiple audiences, right?
Mhm.
They're speaking to prospective students, they're speaking to parents,
Right.
they're speaking to a diverse range of stakeholders, right? They're also speaking to current students. My understanding is that the part that's not ready is the one that would be speaking to current students. And that's the part that doesn't matter for prospective parents, right?
I understand that, yes. So, and everything else is, let's say I am a new parent, it wouldn't look incomplete in any way.
that's a great question. would it look incomplete?
Because if it does, then the answer is not.
Yeah.
Right.
Then the
Yeah,
answer is
exactly.
clear.
That's a great
But if it's
question.
just the teacher stuff where the assignments and that kind of thing, that's a very different answer,
Yeah.
right?
Correct.
That's what I was trying to ask, is like, is it just going to look perfect and complete except for below the bio blurb of the teachers where the assignments haven't come yet? And in that
Yeah,
case, why not?
again, everything will be, everything's basically almost complete. It's just adding the information, that's it.
So
Yeah,
if
the assignment information, like
Adding the calendar and, you know, do you have Google Classroom? You can sync your Google Classroom items there and everything like that.
Could a prospective parent look at all of that though?
I
Or
don't-
do they need a
I can't-
password to get
I
into the
honestly
teachers?
cannot say because I'm not a parent, so I wouldn't.
No, no,
really
no.
know.
Could a parent just, not a parent, but
It's
could
open
a
to the public.
prospective parent click on it?
It's open to the public.
Because I know that when I look at schools and I try to get ideas of what, you know, what are people doing?
Mhm.
I click on the teachers to see, and you can say, oh, look how cute, this teacher is wonderful. Look at all the great things they're doing or whatever. So
Yeah.
that part is appealing to me. If I was looking for a school, I would want to click on those and see
Right.
what are they doing.
do we have that right now?
No, but the
No.
new one would have.
We-
to
yeah.
have it.
But we're not trading, I mean, we're not trading
True,
down by
that's
doing it,
true.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
exactly.
true.
Christian,
Yeah,
if we gave you some more time, or perhaps at the next meeting, could you demonstrate or show us what it looks like? Or can you send us a link where we can see the beta of it? I see the value in it as a recruitment tool and am sensitive to messing up with the little that it does, the existing one does offer. But I would want it up and running by the end of the school year. That's my personal 2 cents from a recruitment standpoint over the summer. And if there are motivated teachers that want to update their bio ahead of time, great, so be it. If we have new teachers, then that's one of their first things to do as well. So is there any way to share what it
And
looks
again,
like right
there's
now?
like, same thing, like, you know, you may never know, like, if there's new staff members or
Sure.
previous staff members that are no longer gonna be here. If you launch it now, it's just gonna be like confusing, as, you know, my opinion, but again.
Yeah,
you know,
no,
that's
no,
just
we're
my-
not asking to launch it right now. I think, or at least I'm not asking to launch it right now.
I can send the demo
Okay.
to the board, and you guys can take a look at it.
Will it be the OTA demo or just the general demo?
The OTA,
So we'd be able to see what you've already kind of done in beta.
not all the changes right now, because in order to do that, I need to launch it and make it public. But I can definitely, you know, have some time in the next board meeting to show you what has been.
There's not a testing environment to launch it in?
There is not a fully complete, because once you launch it, it's fully up and running. So right now I have the beta where I'm doing all the changes.
Uh-huh.
And then right there, I'm saving everything. So once it goes public, it'll automatically launch and be able to, you'll see all the changes.
But we'll be able to see the beta that you're working on.
Yes, currently right now, the beta, you'll be able to see what we have, what everything got transferred. But I can also show you in the next board meeting, all the changes that I've done and everything and what you guys can see on like the teachers' pages and anything, you know, if you guys have any recommendations or, you know, anything like that.
Yeah, that'd be great. I think I'm gonna echo those comments that it probably makes sense to launch it. Maybe not next week for continuity purposes for a lot of reasons, but coming up by the end of this year, this school year, we should probably launch it so it's up.
And the best thing about it, that you don't have to, like the teachers' pages, it doesn't have to go public. You can just create the page and add all the information. When you're ready to put it public, you just hit the little I button that gives it the public view. So what you can have is basically right now is they'll just be able, parents will be able just to email them directly.
So are you comfortable in the next board meeting demonstrating the beta site to us with the hopes of feedback in the May timeframe and potentially launching it in early June?
That's fine. I'm not, you know, I'm not uncomfortable. I'm comfortable to show all the changes.
Okay.
So it's not an issue.
Right. Any other questions? I don't think it's I mean, I think it's kind of an operational decision. I appreciate it, you bringing it to the board and running it by us, but yeah, if you want to put it on as action item, if you want to really vote on it, we could, but.
Do we need to vote on that?
I don't think so.
I think it's
I think you were just reporting, yeah.
Well,
The
I'll just be
progress.
reporting, showing you guys what progress and what has been done
Perfect.
so far. So when, there won't be any surprises when it launches and be like, wait a minute, I never knew this was there.
Mhm.
I agree, James, that this is, I mean, this is, it's nice to know about, but
Yeah.
ultimately, I think this is a decision for Laura.
Sounds perfect. All right, thanks, sir. Real estate advisory panel update.
Mr.
Bride, we're gonna officially take my name off of that, that panel. I'm sorry, I'm slowly stepping out.
See it all happen.
You've taken it already higher than I could have. Let's hear it.
So just a quick preamble, we're looking for a location for our school. We have Prop YY money, $40 million earmarked. We're looking for a property at least 3/4 of an acre. We found some that are half an acre that we're trying to make work. There's a lot of stipulations, restrictions, pitfalls. Pipe can't build over pipelines, fault lines, 1,000 feet by cannabis stores, liquor stores, that's up for debate. A bunch of elements that we're dealing with right now. Colliers is the brokerage firm of record for San Diego Unified School District. They're seeing now a lot more potential sellers reaching out to them based on inflation, based on interest rates, so that's a positive sign. I've got an ongoing list that we've now identified, researched, propositioned over 35 locations. We're expanding the search to also potential churches as well, looking at rent backs on Sundays for their services as well. Recently, and I've got a monthly call that Laura joins in on, San Diego Unified School District as well, and Colliers. Today, a couple new leads came up. One's in the Midway District that could be potentially a good one for us if we can jump through a couple loopholes, one being a cannabis store, their solvency as well. So it's just they're popping up everywhere, and that's a no-no in the getting approval from San Diego Unified School District. So I'm looking into the solvency of this cannabis store to see if they're going away or sticking around. But that got the representatives for San Diego Unified the location based on the future expansion around the Midway and Sports Arena location. And there's not a lot of schools in that area as well. So that's our latest carrot we're chasing. We looked at a location close to San Diego or to USD. That was of great interest. There is a huge delta between the appraisal and what the asking was. There is a property on sale right next to it right now that could help both of from a comp standpoint, could help out what the offering price is and also potential for a reappraisal as well. And again, I implore you guys or anyone else listening, if you guys have options, ideas, friends, networks that you can see something that's coming online or before it's online that we can approach them with. 40 million is a lot of money, but in San Diego, especially around Old Town, and what it costs per square foot to build out, it does go fast. But my glass is a little more half full than the other way as it relates to this search, and especially with potential for the real estate potential and where it's going right now in the market. So no specifics except for this potential property on Midway. Got a list that I go over with these guys on a monthly basis, but if there's something that comes up from your standpoint or you hear of anything, then let me know. I can reach out to the appropriate parties at Colliers and San Diego Unified and get that going or get that specific search going as well.
Excellent. Great. Thank you. Great leads. Okay, equipment loan policy. So it didn't make it out in the packet.
But Mike, I would like you just to speak to it, and I can kind of add where this came from. There is some stuff further down. I think because it didn't make it in the packet, we'll probably not approve the policy this meeting. We'll have to approve it next meeting.
Yeah, we'll have the next meeting. However, each one of you have now received it via email. Basically, the purpose of the policy statement that was written was to provide some guidelines on the acceptance of gifts and donations as well as property loans on behalf of OTA and the board of directors. So it'll cover bequests, donations, gifts, and real property loans. Kind of goes through what it needs to be done to accept gifts, some dollar limits, minimums about getting the board involved versus not, as well as kind of the administration that needs to be behind it. A big part of it too is the real property on loan and having a waiver on file that, you know, something is loaned to the school, that there is some acknowledgement that it is going to be used. It's going to be potential to have some damage to the property that's on loan, and kind of acknowledging that on both sides. So you guys have that in there. Take a look. Please feel free to let me know if there's some specific changes that you would suggest or need, but that way we can make sure that it's up for approval for next board meeting.
And so where it came from is we had a piece of equipment that we have damaged that was loaned to the school. Upon researching that, realized that there are quite a few things here that are on loan that were not donated to the school. So with that there wasn't a ton of paper trail on those loans. We've gone back, we've talked to the people whose property it is, and we want to get a policy in place and then document these things and put them on the balance sheet and basically account for them. And with that, yeah, I think there's like something like 9 pieces of artwork here that are just a loan. They're not here they're not ours. So
And we're all looking around the room going.
yeah, in the halls and area. And, yeah, when you look at them, they're actually very nice. So, but with that, that's where this came from, and you'll see an action item further down to reimburse for some equipment that was damaged. Excellent. Yep, I am stepping down. I kind of spoke to all the reasons why, but I do want to assure folks that I'm not going anywhere. I will finish up the last 2 meetings, and I am focusing on I'm focusing on more grants. So, and I have a couple really good leads that hopefully, if they come through before I leave, even if they don't, I'll pass it on to the next person, and that will kind of settle everybody down on the ADA and kind of help us go forward. So that's what I'll be working on, and yes, bittersweet, but it's certainly time. Perfect. Parent Foundation, Linda Filippo. She just contacted me and was not going to be able to make it tonight, but she did not have any extra updates.
I do have one thing about that though.
Yes.
Parents Night Out is April 29th, 6 to 9 o'clock at Reaver Spirits. There'll be a raffle, online auctions, coming with teacher experiences. So make sure everybody's buying tickets. It's $50. Includes tacos and drink as well. No kids, but it should be a fun evening and raise some good money for the school as well. April 29th.
That's basically our payroll, right?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. Principal report. Ms. Padilla.
So before I do, to go into the review of the calendar and some of the other items, I'd like to start with C, which is the presentation for summer Spanish camp. And if you recall, we're required now to provide 9 hours of activity, which includes during the school year, 6-7 hours of school, plus the additional with YMCA or some other classes that's required now that we provide 9 hours. Additionally, we're required to do it 30 days outside of the school year. So Martha is here and she does a Spanish class for us now, and we sat down together and she had a great idea, and I thought she could come and present it to us and see what you thought for summer to help us move right into that so that we're meeting the requirements. At least we're getting started in that direction. So this is Martha.
Thank you.
Okay, so I brought my computer with the idea of projecting this one. So, thank you. Okay, my name is Marta Sheridan Chosa. Thank you, Mrs. Padilla. I'm really excited to see if we can do this summer. So I brought some copies. I don't have enough for everyone, if you don't mind sharing.
Let's go to, oh, you need a copy.
Here. Here. Any interest in that? Two, here, and here we go. So,
Yeah, no.
you can.
Yeah,
have
we're
some-
good.
Yeah, you might want to scoot over.
There,
But they're gonna project on that.
Okay, so.
Well, Mrs. Padilla said, I'm in charge of the
Spanish program, after school program. I started my Spanish program here. It's a program that I started like a few years back. And I actually started here at OTA with the enrichment program when OTA just opened. So the first year OTA opened, I was lucky enough, like, come in with the Olenics that they brought me here to school because I work with them and with the shop with their child, and they invited me to do the program here. We started with the Chinese after school program, and then we moved to Spanish because we have more people wanted to do Spanish. But before that, we were doing this summer camp, that is a Spanish through art summer camp. We've been doing it for about 20 years. Obviously, we did it during COVID. We did it some online, and last year we did a very small one in my house. And it's actually something that we offer to children in San Diego with the idea of not only going to a camp where somebody's gonna entertain you and then go home. So no babysitting, as we can say. We want to offer the children a life learning experience, something that they really want to do. And we have been very lucky because we have like 85 returning students radio to our camps. So I started with kids at 4 years old at the beginning, and they got called back, and they finished coming as assistant teachers, like since they were 4 until 15. Martha, can I go back to camp? No, my God, you're too old to camp, but you can come and help me because they already can speak Spanish to the other students, so that's good. So the camp, it's just a Spanish to art camp. What we do, so the objective is to provide a fun learning experience for the children. The picture is not very clear, but that is an idea. That was at La Jolla Elementary School. And our camp is a very small camp. We don't like a big camp. We have no more than 20 students per week, 18 at the most. And you can go to the next one. We have objectives, and yes, we do have students that have never been exposed to Spanish and it's their first time arriving, but even though we offer the Spanish every single day. So practice Spanish in each of the activities that we offer during the day. Then they meet and emulate great artists who have impacted the cultural life of people in the world. And they love that. They create and they paint a canvas, a big canvas every single week of one of the artists recognized in the world. We have done, obviously, Frida Kahlo, George O'Keeffe, Dali, and many others. Also, we explore science through art, and they love that. Like you'll see next a picture of a Da Vinci's self-standing bridge. They love to do that. So we practice Spanish every day. We integrate music and we do a lot of fun activities, but with learning. Okay, so we can move to the next one. We will need the outside playground, the lunch area that is where the kids staying, and courtyard, maybe here for another activity, and if possible, one classroom. Depending on the activities that we end up offering. We want to offer music. Mr. Pachano hasn't been able to talk with me yet, but because he doesn't know yet how his schedule is going to be during the summer. And the dates will be in July. So we will have the first week will be July 4th, then July 11th, then we take a week off, and then July 25th and August the 1st. And for 8:45 to 2:15 p.m. Sometimes parents ask for standard care. We do not offer standard care, but if we can do it and there's a way to do it, the latest pickup will be a 3-day. No more than that. The next one, please. Okay, there you can see some of the pictures of the first camps that we have here at OTA. You can see there's science, there is the art, and what they do, that picture on the bottom is the self-sustained bridge that Vinci created, and the kids were amazed because they didn't use any tools and they were able to step on it and walk all the way, and they were like, oh my God, he was amazing. So yeah, they love it, they love it. It's my passion, it's my passion. So the next one, please. Okay, so we have our own liability insurance that since forever I have had it. Okay, and also each one of the children will have to complete the forms. Here are some of the forms that this is a form that they have to fill out, so they don't make anyone responsible for anything in the schools, and we take full responsibility of whatever happens during the camp. And we all will be offering, obviously, a special distance for students from OTA. And once the program is approved, if you decide for us to do the camp here, that we did it like 3 years when the school starts, that would be awesome, and we can just launch it. It's important to do it as soon as possible because camps are open now, and I have many parents like, are you going to do it this year? Are you going to do it this year? And I don't have an answer for them yet. Can we go to the next one? Okay. I base this fee, the 120 per week, on what San Diego Unified School District has charged us before, and camps that we have had at La Jolla Elementary, Curry Elementary, and then Point Loma. I don't remember the name of the school, but we have done in different schools all over with San Diego Unified School District. This year, I was not planning on doing the camp, and Mrs. Padillo really, when she talked about the possibility, I was like, yes, let's do it again, because I'm old. But I am. But I love it, and we will do it. So that will be great. And we will cover all the cleaning fees, materials, and everything needed for the camp. We spend about $60 per kid per week just for materials, because they use, we don't want them to go home with something they made and then just find it a week after just in the car, toss it in the car, that because they don't care about it. We want them to hang it. And I have houses in La Jolla and from former students that they have a complete wall with all the paintings that they have made. And they still have them and they love it. It's like something the kids really, really appreciate and love to do, because they realize that they are capable of doing it. And yes, can we go to the next one? I think, okay, the releases form, you have it. I didn't bring the release for media, but it's just a document what the parents approve or not for the kids to be filmed or having a picture taken to post it on our website. And that's about it. I don't know if those more pictures, those are some videos that you have when they were here working at school. Yeah.
Is the 620 per week, that's what OTA would be paying to have the program here?
No, I will be paying OTA, like a rent fee.
Got
for
it.
that.
Oh,
Yes,
got it.
that
Okay.
is what the last year we did it at Seville Unified before COVID. That is about what we were paying. Now they changed their way that they are renting the facilities and they were extremely expensive. So since they changed everything, I was like, I don't want to deal with this again. Because we were always being charged like a normal amount for the week, because it's only one classroom outside area. We don't have that many students coming. And that is the last rent fee that we had with Seville Unified School District was about $617 or something like that. But they were paying for the custodian and everything. We didn't pay for that. And this time we will be paying for whoever cleans and do everything in the school, because we know there's nobody in the school that can do it. Yes.
So how much per family, per child per week with the camp?
The camp, it's about, I haven't set up the price yet, to be honest, because I need to find out about the prices. They have raised a lot with art materials. So depending on that, we will decide, but we never go. So the last year we did it, they paid $300 per week plus material. And decided that this year we'll do the just not plus material, but we'll include the material. And I was thinking about $320. Everything depends on after this week that we're gonna have off here at OTA to do my research on material, because they are extremely expensive now. But you can see the amount, the kind of work they do in this video. They have very big canvases, and so we use good material for kids, and they love it. It's something that we like. I have some students from OTA that started with me in kindergarten. We have that little Valentin there that is now 7th grade, I believe. He started when he was 4. He wasn't even enrolled in the OTA yet. But the mom asked me, can he come?
And the camp is for ages of K through
Supposedly 6th graders. Right now I have like 6 or 7 parents asking me for their 14-year-olds to come. And if they want to come, they can come. Yes.
And the K through 6 is what's required for that 9-hour.
incoming K through 6.
Yeah, but as far as what's required, the state requiring us to provide something for 30 days, that fits perfect. Then we don't have to go to 7 or 8, K through 6 if we wanted to do works.
Yes, that works perfectly.
Mi niños hablan español por tu culpa.
I know. Yes, they do. Yeah, I haven't seen them in a while. Yeah.
Gracias.
Qué bien, me da gusto. Yeah. Yeah. So I try. I do
Yes.
my best. I enjoy what we do.
Excellent. So is this on as an action item or no?
Did she put it on there? Should be, because we need to start making a decision on what we're gonna do, because we have to provide something.
Yes.
And this is something that OT has had. And looks great. It should have been on the.
Thank you so much.
So would you say it's a error that it landed in discussion and not on action?
Yeah, I'm not sure. This is part of the.
Yeah,
sickness,
it should have been on
yes.
both.
Oh, yes, it should have been on both of them, yes.
So,
Yeah.
okay, so we'll state that, and we gotta make sure we put that in the minutes so we can take action on it.
Okay, yes, that would
Because
be
you
great,
need-
because
So no by May, right?
so whenever, if you have any more questions, my email is there and phone number and everything, so we can, if possible, move forward, because it's important, like to just launch it.
No, yeah, I think again, it's probably another operational, it's not a big expense and makes sense.
The first time, sorry to interrupt. Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I don't, I think it's great. I think we're gonna make it an operational. I think the only thing I would think is we just check our insurance, which I think it includes, because you're already here. So I think I would leave it up to Mr. Deal, but I like it. That would be my response. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Well, thank you, everybody, for having me.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Okay. Have a good night.
Bye.
And then just real quick, I don't have to read all these to you, but I gave every one of you the list of things that
Just
kind of.
one more on that before you get
Yes.
going. Logistically, opening and closing would,
We talked a little bit about that because
Okay.
nobody's gonna be here
Yeah.
in the month of July. And that either if we're comfortable giving her a key to the place, we can do that, and we do that for the YMCA. If not, I'd have to figure that component out.
The first 3 years that we did the camp here, I don't remember if it was 3 or 4. But what they did, they gave me a clicker for the garage door, the key, the master key, just to come in. That was it. Gracias, muchas gracias. Con permiso.
So I'll go through this real quick. I know we haven't even gone closed session yet. We had a fire drill, sprinkler backflow test just this week that we passed. We're continually repairing the bathrooms. Literally 3 times a day, we're going in there, and poor Pablo, he spends most of his time in those bathrooms. We're working with a parent who offered a plumber who came and gave us an estimate of over $5,000 just for one bathroom. So I reminded her that we discussed free, so we'll see what can happen with that. We repaired 2 air conditioner units where the rats had eaten the plastic tubing, and we replaced it with copper. And now there's a 3rd classroom that has been, we think, affected. And so my worry is that it could be the whole site. So and it's an expense that we haven't counted on. I am discussing with the neighbor about cutting the tree down because the tree lies on the roof, and therefore it's an easy path for the rats. So we may have to cut that tree down so that will really help the site. Health department, you got that one today. I completed all but 1 teacher observation so far. School tours are over for prospective students because we just finished the cutoff for enrolling in that. We're getting ready for the task testing, the lottery. A parent came and helped me with the LPAC testing because Bob was unavailable and there was a deadline, and she said, "You need help," and she just happened to have been trained on that. So she finished most of it. Working with the San Diego County Office of Education on a couple of credential issues with some of our staff that we completed that. Staff did a commitment survey as far as if they're coming back next year or not. Worked with CSMC on budget, trying to balance the program needs and what I perceive to be the program needs with the revenue. We're developing the summer program, which is what we were talking about here, ELOP. I'm just finished trying to fulfill the expanded learning opportunities grant with a budget, like actually tying it to expenses and trying to figure out what Todd meant by that. I think we're down. I think we've got it down now. And working with the landlord on possible reduction in lease expense, and we're waiting a response. As far as what's coming, now that I've done all the observations, I need to evaluate all OTA employees. Mentioned the auditor visit. SDUSD, we're preparing for the May 12th visit. I have to complete the LCAP for the May board meeting, which I'm going to work on next week and bring back based on what parents have given me suggestions on from our last parent coffee. And we're going to have another one, so I'll be able to bring it to that meeting and circle it back. We'll continue working on the budget. We're going to be posting EdJoin for open positions for teachers who have already stated that they are leaving next year. We're working on still the meals program, ELOP, and of course the universal TK. So all quick, last thing.
you got nothing going on.
Calendar. So in your packet are 3 calendars. The 2, they're almost to the end. The last page and the second to last page. I don't know if you want to make a decision today or you want to just take a look, but the first 2 calendars were the calendars that were already provided before that you had looked at. And it was brought up that maybe you wanted to revisit that at the last meeting. We came up with an option C that incorporates, which is the larger one on the back page. Option C starts a week earlier so that we might be able to get a jump on enrollment. And it also provides us with a few more staff development days so that we can provide teachers. We added a few half days where we can do half day with kids, half day staff development, so we can get some more training time in because we have very little as the year goes on. We tried to keep everything else similar as far as when you wanted breaks and that.
Do the breaks align with SDUSD, or are we still off?
We're still off. I think only 1 week. Well, we have the February week, which they don't have. And then Easter, their Easter, I think, is March 27th through 31st, and ours is the week after.
So this adds staff development days, picks up that week. So we
Except
don't,
start a week ahead of time.
so people don't shop public schools
Mhm.
for us.
That takes us to 178 days, is that correct?
Yes.
And what do we get?
Oh, and it added Columbus Day as a day off because everybody tells us there's a humongous stretch between the beginning of the year and Labor Day and,
parents ask
Thanksgiving.
every year,
They
do you
do.
have Columbus Day off?
well, and the CDE, the California Department of Education, sees it as like the federal government as a holiday. So we added that one because it's, teachers feel a little bit of a relief because it's a long stretch to Thanksgiving. This was just a sample. It can go in any way you want it to go. The other two on the left were ones that you had looked at prior.
Did we get like a poll from the staff on this one?
We haven't yet. These were just
Okay.
presented today. I'd love to ask the staff their thoughts on it, but we wanted to make sure we did some kind of presentation to get your thoughts before we discuss it with the staff.
Laura, I'm sorry, I was reading and not fully paying attention as I probably should have. The half days, we had talked about, are there half days that you color coded in here? What color are they?
They are purple.
They're the purple ones, thank you.
Yep.
The
Purplish,
light-
light purple, sorry, light.
The fuchsia
light.
pink.
Yes, sorry.
Got it,
Yeah.
thank you.
My old eyes, yeah.
Yeah, no, thanks.
So we added a few. You can see there almost every month. We've got a half day where we can do staff development and catch teachers up on something. or other.
I like option C, if I may say so myself. I agree with the earlier starting, but also what's great is the fact that it ends earlier is actually good for families if, you know, I personally think that so that you can get a jump on your vacation.
Yeah.
When not everybody else has, you know, gotten out yet, but I think the fact that it stretching it out later in August, everybody's still out there. I mean, the summer, August is just busy anyways. So personally, I think it's a great idea. I don't really know how this, I guess I don't really know how this community feel about having potentially 2 weeks together. Is that something that we ever, I mean, not to say, I'm happy with this, but I'm just saying, I just don't know if that was
2 weeks together.
like, you know, not
Winter
one
break.
week in
Oh.
February and 1 week
Got it.
in, you know, here. I don't know if that's easier or harder.
Sorry, she's asking 2 weeks, so you're saying 2
Like a
weeks,
2-week vacation.
like a 2-week spring
Like
break
Easter or
almost?
something.
No,
Yeah.
that's-
Well, right now. we have
December.
a week in
Instead of
February.
separate.
Right.
You like the February break is a question.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
no,
don't know what
I'm
this,
asking
I don't know what the staff thinks. My personal opinion is, I think a 1 week is a little bit better, at least for the sake of the kids too. Yeah, I mean, right now, like, this week has been hard because they're ready for break. And they know that a break's coming. I don't know. I would have to ask the staff. I'm not sure.
Oh, I was more,
Yeah. thinking
on the,
about it.
also
Yeah.
on the level of parents. What's
What parents
easier? Because, I mean, ultimately, I'm sure, you know, you're right with whether, you know, kids want it one way or another, but.
That wasn't changed from when we approved. Right? So the current approved calendar, we didn't change December or February, right? That's currently in there.
Correct.
And like this looks the same except for the instructional
Start.
days and the start.
Start and end.
So-
Start earlier and end.
But you
Yeah.
guys have discussed just moving spring break up and taking out that ski week, right? That's
Yes,
what you had
There
thought.
was some talk about.
there was
that.
talk of that, but we didn't do that for
Option C.
here. Yeah,
Yeah.
So I
didn't
think
know
option
that-
C
is that what
looks
you- Yeah. we
very
can do it
similar.
anyway.
It's just got the staff development days, which I
Right.
think are great.
Yeah.
And it hopefully helps with our attendance loss or our enrollment loss.
It gives you a little jump.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. So,
Certainly can't hurt.
yeah, I think what I would like to hear what staff, if staff likes it. Last time I voted for what was out there was for the staff. So if we could do that and bring that back and put it on as an action item.
Yeah. I think you
It's
gotta,
not too late, right?
No, I don't think it's too late. I think
I know there are families who already booked vacations for that last week of August. Flights to other states or something, but you know, there's homework contracts for the first week of school, right?
Yes, sir.
I would just, my 2 cents are that I'd like to put more weight on what the teachers think and what teachers think will be better for students than we do on what's easier for vacation. I say that against my own self-interest. Vacation, early June vacation, but I do think that we need to make these decisions based on, you know, not just our personal comfort, but, you know, educational viability.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Agree. All right. I think, oh, it is on here.
Yeah, we do not have to approve the calendar. I think you
Yeah.
guys had approved a calendar already. And
Yes.
so now we're bringing it, you wanted another option or to revisit it.
Yeah. All right, perfect. Is that it?
Yep.
Excellent, thank you. Long awaited Dashiell Weaver is student report. There's a long one tonight, huh?
Not a lot, just we had a field trip to the zoo. I don't know if Cindy told you about that. And I know 7th grade had a field trip to National History Museum. We have a field trip coming up to Knott's Farm, which 8th graders are really excited about. The poetry contest. We're all practicing poems and memorizing.
Which one are you doing?
Supermarket in California. Just like a couple concerns with, we still have problems with passing period. We're still only getting 3 minutes. Which we feel isn't enough time to go to the bathroom, eat or snack, because we don't have a minute or 10-minute break like other classes do, like other 5th grade down. And we have community service problems because we got our tracker the day before winter break. So we could like start a community, so we have to do 15 hours, which we only had half the year to do it, which we think is kind of unfair. And we've been told that we couldn't go to like promotion if we didn't get our 15 hours, or we couldn't go to Knott's Berry Farm if we didn't get 10 hours or stuff like that, which.
So how come you guys started it late?
We got our trackers at the end of winter break.
What's a tracker?
We have like community service.
It's like a.
Like
keep track of-
before?
Yeah.
Yeah,
like keep track
before,
of
and then we
hours.
write down like.
Okay.
And at the beginning of winter break, and which is half the year to do it instead of our normal.
Did you discuss that with the teacher?
No, we haven't, not yet.
Might want to talk to her. And that's new to me. I didn't know you guys had to do 15 hours.
You beach cleanup too, if you want.
I forget I can do some.
But the beach cleanup, if you want to go to the lifeguard station, we've been having kids, because I think that's a common theme amongst schools right now. And we have kids coming up to the lifeguard towers, and the lifeguards will sign off on your hours if you get some trash or sweep. You can sweep the sand. So I'll do a plug for the beach, and then I'll send a message out to my team that if students come up, everybody's cleared to sign off on the hours we've been doing it. Mission Beach, we move. I think somebody told me is like 50,000 gallons of sand from the back parking lot back to the beach. If it's cleaned or through the trash. Yeah, we track it in 5-gallon buckets.
We got new balls, I guess, which is pretty cool. We used to only have maybe 1 or 2 footballs. Now we have like 4, which is awesome. That's about it. I think. Yeah.
If you need community service, you can always talk to me. You know, I can ask, a couple of students to help me out with technology, organizing things like that to get community service education.
Yeah, a lot of the teachers actually appreciate help. I know the middle school students have come to me a lot, but if you work with the middle school teachers and just let us know, these 3 students want to come during their flex time, like at least kindergarten, first, second, we always help during that time.
How much flex time do you get a day?
An hour.
An hour?
Or if we have PE, then 2 days.
All right. So about 3 hours a week?
Oh, yeah, for the most part.
Oh, okay. So you have time to knock it out here if you wanted. Perfect. Thank you. Anything else, sir?
Oh, no, I'm good. Thank you.
Excellent presentation. Thank you. All right, let's get to business consent items. Approval of special board meeting minutes. March 11, March 16, March 24. Did everybody get a chance to review these?
Yeah.
Are there any edits?
I have a question.
Yes.
If I wasn't present for one of the meetings, should I not vote on it?
You just abstained from that. Yes. All right, do I hear a motion for the March 11 meetings?
I'll move.
I have a second. Second, thank you. Excellent. We will call for the vote. All in favor to approve the March 11 board meeting minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Any abstentions? One abstention, carries. March 16, 2022, regular board meeting minutes.
I'll move.
All right, motion to approve, second from Principal Badillo. Call for the vote, all in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? One abstention, okay, 2 abstentions, excellent, carries. March 24, 2022, special board meeting minutes. Do I have a motion?
Let's keep it rolling. I move.
And we have a second. Second from the principal. Call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Any abstention? All right, carries. Excellent. All right, approval of check register. And I'm not hearing from you guys online.
Yeah, they're talking.
Okay,
We've heard.
as far as the votes, Jeremy and Zach.
Yeah, I've been coming in. Can you hear me?
Okay,
Yes.
were you and I on all 3?
I was an aye.
Okay, Jeremy,
I was an eye on 2 out of 3. I had to abstain for 1.
24th. 16th. Excellent, thank you, sir. All right, approval of check register. Everybody get a chance to review that?
Can I ask very quickly, it just occurred to me, who's taking minutes for this meeting? Do we have anyone taking minutes for this meeting?
I read myself.
Oh, that's right, Chris is the secretary, it's no longer Jeremy. I always just think of Jeremy as a secretary. Did you just log off, Jeremy? All right, we'll have to
Piece that together. Watch the video.
we'll piece it together, watch a video. We'll
Send
task
it to Chris.
for it
Say,
when he
hey,
comes
Chris.
back.
Watch the video. We got you.
Yeah.
I'll move that we approve the check registry as submitted.
Okay,
Second.
all right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, carries unanimous. Academic calendar, we're gonna push to next month. Equipment loan policy, we're gonna push to next month. Okay, approval of reimbursement for damaged loaned equipment. So OTA did receive a loan piece of equipment. and we damaged and destroyed this piece of equipment. The owner of the equipment did provide us a receipt from when they purchased it. It was purchased with a trade-in, and they agreed to the amount that they spent on the equipment as reimbursement for the damaged Lowe's equipment. The equipment, if you look, had appraised over the years. So this is what they are out officially. And my recommendation is that we do approve the principal to strike a check to reimburse this equipment. So if there's any more discussion or clarification on it, I can provide more. But this is why we have a new loan policy, equipment loan policy, and we have to track these things and then be good ambassadors and shepherds of people's equipment that they loan to the school.
I fully agree with that. I wonder if it's part of our fiduciary responsibility that as board members to make sure that the amount corresponds to what has been appraised. But I guess I'm just wondering if that's.
Yeah.
I'm not. Yeah.
Yeah, so it would come, it would certainly come with a release of liability. So I was working with Chris on what that document looks like, and they would provide the sales receipt, because I have it.
Okay.
So I kind of investigated this when I found out about it. And yeah, so I've been going back and forth, trying to find out a good remedy. I think this is the best remedy for the school at this point. And I know we do have a fiduciary responsibility to the budget, which is why I'm furiously writing grants. And yes, certainly the grant that we just received does not directly correlate to this, but it doesn't hurt the budget, the grant that we just received, and this is the right thing to do. This will avoid, not that we would receive a lawsuit, in my opinion, but it could happen. And the story is corroborated by the former founder and board president, that how we received this equipment, and the board president actually is the one who presented me with the receipt from the original purchase. So my opinion is that we make right a wrong here, and we give the principal that authority. We will address it. We will get a release of liability for it, and that will go to moving on. So is there any discussion, any more discussion on it? Okay, I will make the motion that we approve a reimbursement for damaged loan equipment in the amount of $13,000. Okay. All right, we will call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition?
Aye.
Any abstentions? Okay, so carries with one opposition, one abstention, and one absentee. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate being able to move on from this. New advisory board president election and appointment. So I put this on here just because I've already belabored enough and spoke enough on why, and I'm strong in my conviction that we do need a new leader right now. So with that, without somebody stepping up, I left it here for an opportunity for somebody to step up, but in the absence of anybody burning who wants to become the president now, then Zach Davis would go in and he would finish out my term. And we usually have board elections in officer elections in June, going into the summer, which I know Zach's term is up as well, but he will be here and attached to the school. And I would assume he would do another term, but that's certainly up to him. So unless anybody has a burning desire to be a president or try out what it's like to be the president of this board,
And if you're not
this
here,
is a great opportunity. Am I hearing any of that?
I assume you've gotten Zach's bio here, right?
Well, he's the vice president, so he was
No
brought
choice.
in and he was elected VP.
All right.
So, yeah, so it will just fall to him and, yeah, I don't have to explain why. I just think we have a lot that's gonna carry through June.
Will we then have to replace for VP?
Well, we'll do the whole board unless somebody.
No, I mean,
Oh.
in the interim for the next 90 days or
Oh,
85 days or whatever it is.
yeah, we could do that, or we could leave
Leave it up.
president. Yeah,
Another question that occurs to me is just.
and my attendance was fantastic, so missing two meetings as president, not having a president for 2 meetings is not bad.
That's not bad.
I will be here though. I will still keep my attendance record.
I do wonder if the vacancy, like if we should start to think about, I know that you're still gonna be on the board, so this doesn't leave a vacancy on the board, but there are some people who are probably going to be stepping down. We've talked a bit about reaching out to community members who might sort of like diversify the board away from parents. And it might be a good time to start thinking about strategy for doing so.
Yes, and I am a non-parent board member, so it will be good for you guys to recruit and find a non-parent for this board. I'm sure everybody has some ideas, but I would say reach out for sure. And then Jeremy is a master at the rules and the elections and all of that. So I think with his guidance, we'll be able to get through what we need to get through by June. So, yeah. With that, Mr. Davis, do you want to be the president and we'll leave the vice presidency vacant until further?
Yes, sir. I will just say, you and Walker said it really poignantly, you did an incredible job. You're kind of a unicorn. So when I'm stepping in even on an interim basis, it's going to take a village. I'm also unfortunately at home because of unforeseen medical stuff going on right now. I've got to get my Achilles repaired tomorrow. So it's kind of a tricky time, but I'm happy to step in and help out however I can. But I encourage you guys to also be willing to step in as well, so we can kind of spread some of the responsibilities, because there's a lot coming up that we got to get figured out.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. All right. So with that though, does anybody want to step in to VP?
I'm willing to, but then that creates a treasurer hole.
Oh, yeah.
I'm happy to pass that.
Yeah, let's leave it vacant.
We do
going
need,
through.
and
Excellent.
Jeremy, honestly, this is something we probably need to look into, and I don't know if you have the paperwork. I have been under the impression I'm done in June. I know I'm done with treasurer. I cannot be treasurer again. But based on what the paper's been saying on our meetings, it says I'm done in June with my second and final term. There has been somebody who has indicated that maybe I have a third year or another year on board. And so I don't know if we can find those minutes to see if I am, I did a search at my email and it's not specified when I was reelected for another term and how long it was. So Jeremy, I don't know if you've got those minutes.
This is, taken with a grain of salt, but in my memory, it was at the same time that Zach and I were seated and that James was appointed for his additional term. I think you were also appointed for your additional term. But my gut feeling is that the four of us were on the same time scale.
Okay.
I haven't reviewed.
Okay. Yeah, because I had the same feeling, but there has been some questions raised about that. So I'd like to, if maybe you and I can circle up and solve that problem for next year. Either way, I know I'm not, I think because of the rules that we have about the treasurer position, even if I have another year, I can't do another round.
Yeah.
So it'll have to be replaced either way.
So does anybody wish to step into the vice president's role? That I guess I'm looking sort of at Jeremy, Jen, and Walker. Since you've all,
They're all looking down.
I know, everybody's looking back.
Or just one of them want to be an interim treasurer while I'm still here and I can help. I would move into the VP role for at least until interim, right? And then figure out what's happening for next year, and then happy to walk through. But we've created the treasurer role with CSMC. It's gotten a lot less work intensive.
I would hate to shuffle the deck so much. I mean, my goal was to have a good point man and somebody.
Yep.
And then with a head of steam, I think we shuffle the whole deck. I think we just maybe leave VP vacant as we go through. Yeah, it's just a couple months.
Yeah.
What's the
It's really, it's
timeline?
2 more meetings.
What's the timeline on recruitment and prospective board members?
You know, Jeremy has just done so well on that, I don't even think about it. So, Jeremy, do you have a?
So we need to between now and part way to do it is between now and put the call out to party within our community, but outside of it, we run the election before the end of the school year. I think that at the end of the school year, very, very, very small turnout. But we can put together outreach election for the next, and it accomplishes 2 things. One, we get more buy-in from everybody. And second, the board is kind of, at least the members of the board are established before the summer begins. And that, we could get everything.
I would also, I mean, I guess coming back to the point about an appointed member from outside, I think that we may wish to consider that prior to, I mean, it's great to have as many people running for board seats as possible, obviously, but that's the more the merrier in that regard. But I think, you know, I mentioned this to James at one point that, like, if we can be strategic about who comes in here, if we tap like Reyes Quesada to come in here, he might actually not only lend his expertise, but also start to feel perhaps a little bit like he in terms of some sort of moral economy, that like on a monthly basis he's being tapped on the shoulder and being asked how can he contribute? Could we become a lab school? Could we whatever? Like, and I'm not saying like that he's the guy, but I think that thinking in these sorts of ways about who might contribute actively is could be important.
Jeremy, is there a limit on board members?
It's 11.
Yes, 11.
Are we counting student members?
No.
Okay. Does the principal count?
Yes. Principal and the teacher representative count.
So we're at 10.
So, and what I would say to that, Topher, if you find somebody, I would say everybody reach out to the non-parent. Yeah, I mean, your idea is great. I mean, I would certainly approach him, and if it's like, yeah, bring him in and want to start, I can certainly step down and step down from the board to bring somebody else in as well. So it's not.
Well, I think, I mean, as you said, we only have 10 numbers right now, right?
Yeah.
So we could.
No, we have
could
11.
appoint-
We have 11.
We have 11.
do- oh,
We
we
have
do.
We have 11, yeah,
But
But I do like-
he's not leaving the board. He's just not president anymore.
yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
just for my clarification, Mr. Gartland, all the way down to Laura Badia.
Me too.
We can for,
And-
yeah, okay, all right, my mistake, okay.
So, yeah, I would say reach out if you guys have people who are not parents, because it's a great call, because you do not want to pit somebody coming in from the outside against a parent. So you kind of want to have them already in. I think that's a great idea. Because it can be hard for people to understand, like the value that somebody who doesn't have a kid would bring. So, I like it. I would say reach out. What's that?
I will not have a student at the school next year, so I would be an outside person, and I don't know that I bring the skills that is the most valuable. So if people, do in the next month to 2 months or looking around and talking to people, if there are people who are interested in being on the board or, some of these strategic hires, if you will, I mean, I would be happy to step away. But I also realized, I just got on last year, so I kind of feel a little bit better to stay at least 1 more year. I would do that, but I would also be fine.
Right.
So.
You're gonna be treasurer, I don't know what you're talking
So, yeah, so I would say reach out and if you have somebody, let's put them on and discuss next, let's get it on the agenda for next board meeting or the June one for sure. But I think we officially have to get Zach in with a vote. So,
do we?
yeah, yeah, maybe board member, I think you have to be elected. If we're gonna not keep president vacant, which I don't recommend, I think we put them in for. Yeah, well, it's just, a lot of it is like, people want to contact the president of the board and they want to, they want that signature on certain things, grants and, endowments or whatever. So you kind of want somebody in there with that title.
This is maybe this is a super technical question. If we vote him in now, and it says that they have a 1-year term, does that mean that he's has to be voted in sort of off kilter with every other member of the every other officer? Or if we don't vote him in, is it automatic according to the bylaws that he does ascend to be president, acting president anyway,
Or interim.
interim president anyhow, and then can stand to run as of June or whenever, and then
Yeah.
he'll be in line with everybody else.
I don't think it addresses that, does it, Jeremy? An officer vacancy midterm.
A vacancy in any office, death, resignation, or leave, we do need to elect transfer down the chain of command, but the should technically yes, it would be an election for an annual term. That could resign his position as president if he so chooses. We get elected in September.
We'll probably forget it anyway.
Honestly.
Making faces on the iPad.
Jeremy, does it say it has to, we have to elect, is there a time frame? Or no? Okay.
There is no defined time frame.
So we want,
It says shall be filled.
yeah.
There shall be a president, one or more vice presidents.
Can we just move to have have it complete your term,
Jake's
have that
interim.
to be an interim and to complete your term.
Yeah,
And then we'll address the rest in June for next year.
yeah, and just call it interim, and then it won't throw his officership off cycle.
Great.
So I make a motion to appoint Zach Davis as interim school advisory board president.
I'll second.
Right, we'll call for the vote. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Don't even think about it, Zach.
I have to abstain. though.
Yes. Any abstentions? All right. Carries with one abstention. Excellent. I think that concludes business for open session. We're going to closed
Were
session.
you going to vote on the summer camp?
No, you know what? I don't think we,
Oh, you were, oh, okay.
I think we're just gonna leave that to
Okay, got it.
operations.
Okay, got it.
Because it was technically not an action, so.
Yep.
Yeah.
Either had to
Okay.
put it on an action item for next month or just end
Yep.
it here.
All right, got it.
Yeah, I think that's ops. It's
Sounds
more
good.
within. Excellent.
Yeah, you can go.
Thank you, Dash.
Thank you.
Former president.
Woo, quite a wait.
There we go. James Garland reporting out from closed session. Nothing to report. Thank you. Have a good night.